All right, so here we have the two, in my opinion, best outputs for our weather or temperature data for April 21st, 2019. So I picked the spline tension method with 12 points. I just left it at 12, and then I could just pick the default IDW. I felt like that did the best job. And now we're going to do some evaluation to check to see which one really did perform better. And the lab this week talks about how it can be difficult to evaluate the validity of an interpolated surface because there is no correct surface with which to compare your results. Often the only information we have is our input data set. So we are going, this is in step 4, we are exploring how to test the accuracy. So here we have our data, and it asks you, or what you'll do is, let me just turn some of this off. The first thing you'll do is go ahead and select all, let's back up. Patience, patience, patience. We'll select all of our points. And then we are going to hold down the shift key and click 2 points somewhere on our map to unselect them. I like to try, let me move this. I like to try to make sure they're not right next to each other and they have different values. So let's take this point here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll take one. Let's try taking one of the low points and see what happens. All right. So we have to remember what points we use later, so we can take a picture or a screenshot, or we could write them down if we wanted to. Or you could be taking a video and you can always pause it and go back and see which ones you did. So then all we're going to do is go back and look at our geocasting results window and redo some of those analyses. Your analyses will probably be in your current session, but I did a lot of these before. So we'll just take a look at those. So we want our tension spline with 12 points. So you're basically just rerunning your analyses. Let me think. Yeah, so we'll just rerun this and change the output. So we'll change this to spline, we'll say eval. And these are going to take a second to run. So it's doing the same thing, just without those 2 points. All right, so we can see our spline evaluation is run. Now we are going to rerun our IDW. And then we'll do the evaluating. We're going to switch this back to 2, and then we'll be. All right, so I changed the name to the IDW eval. I changed our power to what it originally was at 2, and the number of points to 12. And then we'll go ahead and hit OK. All right, so we can see our IDW evaluation tool has run as well. So now we're going to evaluate against the outputs against each other. So the first thing we can do is figure out our input points. So we can remember they're these two. So these are the ones we didn't use. So I can go ahead and click on the info button and pull up that it's Big Bear Lake. Where's my, say the input original temperature is 47.6. So one of those lower values. And let's go over to this point. This is Camarillo. And it is 58.2. 0.2? Yeah, okay. So then we can go into our raster surface and we'll turn off everything. We'll start with just the IDWs. We'll wait till our points load again. And I'm going to zoom in as close as I can to this point. And I'm going to hit the info button. And then I'm going to change it from the topmost layer to the IDW eval in the identify window. And then just go ahead and click on it again. And you can see that the pixel value is 58.2. So this is camera, yeah, 58.2. All right, and then we can switch to the spline eval. Click on that point again, see it's 58.1. All right, so then we can go over to our other point. I wonder if I had I was looking at the wrong point. Nope, okay. So we can click again on our, go to our, we can click again to identify that Big Bear Lake, and we can go into our IDW eval. It's at 47.6. Click on it again. We'll get 47.8 for the IDW. And for spline, we get, oops, try again, 47.7. So you know what? This, it looks like our outputs are pretty similar. So sometimes you'll get original values that are significantly different from what you're seeing in your output. So one might be way off. You know, I'm kind of leaning toward, I mean, they're both off by like 0.2 in different areas. So this is off by 1, and this is off by or I should say 0.1, this is off by 0.1, this is smack on, this is off by 0.2. So arguably they're both pretty accurate. Let's turn off our selection. So this was maybe not the best choice, points to choose, but we can see when we switch from our IDW to our spline eval surface that, why does this keep freezing? It's still, both of these are still capturing those low points and still capturing the temperature of that known point. So I wish I had better results. This would be a hard choice of which to choose. Probably going to stick with the spline because it accounts for those above and below values. So, you know, maybe that's what I'd stick with. But you couldn't really go wrong with either of these. I guess knowing a little bit more about your data set will help. But other than that, that's basically what you do. You sort of compare, and you're supposed to do, I should say, you can pull up the lab and see. You can look at or you can subtract the two and see what the difference is, which is more accurate. Hopefully your results will give you a little bit more accuracy, but these don't necessarily, or hopefully it'll help you make a decision. Yep, so that is evaluating your results. Take at least 2 points out and check them.